All right, welcome everybody to episode number 33 of Can We Make Impact Wrestling the best promotion in Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. My name is the Mayor Jason Smith, and want to welcome you to today's episode. We will be talking about TNA's Turning Point 2006 from the Impact Zone, featuring the in-ring pay-per-view debut of Kurt Angle. I take that back because he was on Genesis. So the second pay-per-view for Kurt Angle. It featured an 8-match card, including the dark match, and a very strange gimmick match as well. Also, as you can see from our game board here, we are 6 days away from our next January TV, and we're getting closer to the Impact pay-per-view in-game as well, which is TNA Impact Genesis. So we'll be getting ready to do some of that work as well. Nick Jackson starts work tomorrow, so he'll be joining on board. We've got Adam Cole, who has recently signed. We also bought out a couple different promotions and have brought on some of the women from Ice Ribbon to try to find a suitable opponent for Kairi Hojo, who honestly has not been beat in a while. So we're still looking to find somebody who can hang with her and give her a run for that Knockouts Championship. Also, Michael Cole has jumped on board and will be handling the announcing duties from Joe, as well as Joey Styles and John Layfield. Those are kind of the big moves that we've made right now with the roster. Outside of that, not really much else happening. So we'll go ahead and advance the day, and we'll talk about the dark match on Turning Point 2006. That would be Lance Hoyt and Ron Killings in a tag team in a 3-on-2 handicap match against Serotonin, which is the new stable that was formed by Raven and features Matt Bentley, Frankie Kazarian, and a repackaged Johnny Devine as Havoc. Lance and Ron Killings would pick up the win in the dark match, and we would open up with a 5-man elimination match for the Paparazzi Championship Series, whatever the hell that was. It was a Kevin Nash thing that he was working on. It featured Alex Shelley, Senshi, Austin Starr, Jay Lethal, and Sanjay Dutt. Alex Shelley was the first to be eliminated via submission. Senshi low-key pinned Jay Lethal for the next elimination. Austin Starr would eliminate Sanjay Dutt with a Brainbuster and 450 combo. And then Alex Shelley would get back re-involved in the match and distract Austin Aries. Senshi would take advantage of that and eliminate Austin Aries to win the match. So that was the Paparazzi Championship Series 5-man elimination match. Kind of a weird thing going on there. Unread emails and decisions awaiting our response. All right, well, let's take a peek here at what's going on in the news. Not really much happening. WWE has some TV problems on Azteca 7. They've continued to have problems with Azteca 7. Johnny Gargano looking like he's going to head for a heel turn. Matt Bloom has signed with us, exclusive as a road agent. He'll join the company in 23 days. Nick Jackson has left AEW for Impact Wrestling. So we will welcome Nick, and we will welcome him most likely as a mid-card guy. Yep. So we're paying $12,000 a month for Matt Jackson to roll around in the mid card. Awesome. Can't wait for that. All right, moving on. Next up would be a bikini contest between Eric Young and Tracy Brooks. Yeah, you heard that right. So basically, Eric Young came out in basically a long t-shirt with a bikini painted on it. Bobby Roode, who was with Tracy Brooks, basically said he's got to be in a bikini or this doesn't count. Eric Young would then take off the shirt, and he was wearing SpongeBob boxers. Again, not a bikini, so Bobby Roode did his thing, and then he took off the boxers, and Eric Young had on a SpongeBob bikini, which meant that Eric Young was declared the winner for some stupid-ass reason. Then, Bobby Roode wanted Tracy Brooks to get Eric Young to join Bobby Roode Incorporated or Robert Roode Incorporated. And if not, then she would be fired as well. So that whole storyline continued. The X Division Championship was on the line on the next match on the card. This was kind of a continuing, twisting storyline that was going on with Chris Daniels, Chris Sabin, AJ Styles, Rhino, and Jerry Lynn all involved in it. And Jerry Lynn would serve as the guest referee for this particular match between Chris Sabin and the incoming champion, Christopher Daniels. And as usual, I can't stop yawning, but Daniels would hit the BME, the best moonsault ever, and pick up the win over Chris Sabin. After the match, Jerry Lynn wanted the guys to shake hands. Chris Daniels, instead of shaking Chris Daniels' hand, or instead of Christopher Daniels shaking Chris Sabin's hand, Chris Daniels slapped Sabin. Alright, so we have new unread emails waiting. So we'll see what those are all about. Voodoo has joined Progress. Vic Viper joins NGW. Yada, 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 yada. Do. Stevens and Trent won the PWG DDT4 tournament last night. And what's our email? Kira Hogan. Shine has made an offer to Kira Hogan. I'm guessing it's pay-per appearance, which is fine, whatever. I'm not really worried about that. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that one and move on. Next matchup would be a singles match between AJ Styles and Rhino. It started with a promo in the back. The two kind of brawled their way to the ring. It was a quick match, especially for a guy like AJ. And then that kind of... the brawl ended up with AJ pretending that his knee was hurt, and the trainers came out, and Rhino got distracted, and then AJ rolled him up and got the win. And then AJ did a little bit of taunting, and Rhino and Styles would head to the back and be chased off. Tag team flag match would be next. Basically, it was a match that to win the match, you had to hang the flag on a pole at ringside. And LAX would have, of course, the Mexican flag. America's Most Wanted, the other opponent, would have the American flag. And kind of went a little bit sideways. For America's Most Wanted, Storm hit Chris Harris with a beer bottle, and that allowed LAX to hang the flag. Jeremy Borash, after the match, would interview James Storm, and Storm took the heat for the loss, but then kind of turned it on Chris Harris and expected him to apologize on Impact Wrestling. after the fact. So that kind of started the storyline of those two splintering off, and you eventually would see the forming of Beer Money Incorporated with James Storm and Bobby Roode. All right, new day, no news, no emails. That's usually pretty good since we aren't really negotiating with anybody at the moment. D.A. Brewer, looks like he's been offered a contract extension, so good for him. It's always good to see the referees sticking around in WWE. All right, 3 days to TV. Next up, our next item on the card would be the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Yet again, not in the main event spotlight. Very odd. But we are getting up to the point where TNA and NWA would sever their relationship. But three-way dance for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Abyss, the defending champion, going up against Sting and Christian Cage. James Mitchell would be at ringside for Abyss. Tyson Tomko at ringside for Christian Cage. Abyss would yet again get over on Sting and Cage after he hit the Black Hole Slam on Sting and picked up the victory. 12-minute match in that one. Defiant looks like they're firing a bunch of people here. Let's see here. Dave Andrews fired. Josh Bodum, Sam Bailey, Andy Wilde, Defiant fired. Kid Quintain, Josh Faulkner, Jackie Polo, Dave Krychek, Rob Holt, Devin Driscoll, Omen, Dead Bones Dawkins, Dickie Diver, Dega. Oh, but he's leaving AAA. Will Ospreay. Didn't enjoy working with people smaller than himself. That's not hard to do. I mean, it's tough to find people who are smaller than Will Ospreay. So, The Miz put on the show of the night for Monday Night Raw. Alright, there we go. Okay, moving on to our final match. A rematch from the Genesis pay-per-view main event. Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle. This one had kind of a wonky finish with the referee getting knocked down. It's pretty common maneuver for TNA at this time. You get the referee knocked out. Angle tried to get a chair and hit Samoa Joe. And it bounced off the rope, hit Angle in the face. Joe put on the Coquina Clutch. Kurt Angle would submit, and that would be that for that match. Joe would get a little bit of revenge from Genesis on Kurt Angle. All right, next up, what do we got here? Oh, Mercedes Martinez is retiring. More TV problems for SmackDown Live. The Miz put on the show there as well. All right, tomorrow night, Impact Wrestling. We've already talked about all the matches on Turning Point 2006. The next pay-per-view would come January of 2007. It would be TNA Final Resolution 2007 from Orlando, Florida. And the Impact Zone, we would see some pay-per-view debuts. We would see the pay-per-view debuts of Jason Riggs and Johnny Riggs. And I'm trying to remember what, if anything, what else they did. I think they were trained by Daniel Pewter, I think. They did some work in OVW. A lot of work in OVW. Had a couple of quick matches on TNA. Nothing really spectacular. Um, God, not really a ton of information out there about him. Aiden Frost was another name that he went by. He was trained by Mike Lane and Scott Casey, and went by the Exhibit. Alrighty then. Did have a tryout match in 2008 with WWE. Two of them actually. Had a couple of workouts with TNA, some FCW work. Did some work with Heartland Wrestling, Midwest Pro, Revolution Pro, Iron, Ultimate Pro. Yeah, so he was around a little bit, doing his thing. His brother Johnny goes by the name of Dylan Klein. Also went by Brother John Smith. He did some work last, I think, in 2011, but he with a promotion called Future Stars of Wrestling, FCW, TNA, OVW, Heartland, Ultimate Pro Wrestling, Midwest Pro, Revolution Pro, and PW Iron. Yeah. Heartland Wrestling Tag Team Champions, with his brother Jason. That's about it. I mean kind of a thing. That was pretty much it. For the Riggs brothers, Chase Stevens would have a solo match at this pay-per-view. Trying to think of anything else worthwhile that can't wait until we talk about in the next episode. So, Paparazzi Championship. Saw Bob Backlund show up. So yeah, lots of interesting things going on. You never know what the hell's gonna happen when Kevin Nash is cutting promos. So nothing noteworthy in the news. So we'll go ahead and get moving and get ready to book our card here. As we go through the card, we know we have a couple matches ready to go. TJP and Kota Ibushi, a triple threat match with Flip Gordon, Johnny Impact, and Ricochet. We have the Coffee Brothers, OVE, and the Briscoes in a triple threat tag match. Eli Drake, excuse me, and Dalton Castle, Will Ospreay, and Jay White. And then our championship matches: Lucha Brothers versus the Guerrillas of Destiny, Marty Scurll versus Bobby Fish for the X Division title, and either Alex Shelley versus Kofi or Adam Cole versus Kofi for the Impact Championship, because Alex Shelley is got that issue with his knee, and it's not looking like it's gonna get any better. So we'll keep it casual with him until we get to the pay-per-view, and then we'll see what happens. But we need to find an opponent for Kairi Sane, and I'm gonna have her take on Makoto. We're just trying to find a match that works without taking a hit. I mean, Kairi has beaten everybody, so it's so hard to find her a really good match. Alright, and we're gonna do Oh, let's see. For the main event, we're going to do a triple threat tag team match. And we'll have Flip Gordon, Johnny Impact, and Ricochet captain these teams with... Oh, let's see here. We'll put Eli Drake with Flip Gordon. We'll put Dalton Castle with Johnny Impact. And we'll put Adam Cole with Ricochet. That'll be our main event. Excuse me. Alright, so we will slow build it. Decisive and open. Alright, so there's our main event. Kofi's gonna need something to do. We're gonna put him in a triple threat match with Will Ospreay and Jay White. We'll see how that goes. Okay. What's next? What's next? What's next? Let's roll with another tag team match. Excuse me. This time we'll do TJP and Kota Ibushi, who are going to be fighting each other here pretty soon, against the Gorillas of Destiny. No. Yes. No. Against the Lucha Bros. Okay. Then we'll do the Gorillas against Marty Scurll and Bobby Fish. And we'll just be an asshole and force the teams that are fighting each other, or the two guys that are fighting each other, Marty Scurll and Bobby Fish, to tag up. Alright. I think that pretty much books everybody that we had plans for. Now, guys, we don't have plans for, like, Rich Swann. Rich has yet to find an opponent to square off against. Let's try MJF, because why the hell not? Nothing else has worked for us. Trying to find Rich a good opponent, and it's just not going all that well for me. Alright, Alex we're going to lay off of because he's hurt. EC3 needs an opponent. if he's gone up with Sean Spears yet. They have not. Alright, well, let's give that a go then, shall we? Okay, we can book 4 more matches here. So, Jake Hager is next on my list. And I think I'm going to roll with some Sami Callihan action. Yeah, these two have not fought each other yet in Impact. That was not... I had more instructions for you than that. There you go. Gotta keep up with me here, game. Alright, now we have a debuting Nick Jackson to fiddle with here. And I think I'm going to put him in the capable hands of Jay Lethal. And we're going to have to figure out what the hell we're going to do with Nick. I think Matt's contract, I want to say, was a couple of weeks different from Nick's, so it should be coming up. We'll have to look. Alright, we can book 2 more matches here. Let's get... the Briscoes versus OVE. And one last match here. Who do we got left? David Finlay, Zack Sabre, the Coffees, and Joe Hendry. Well then, let's do a 3-on-2 handicap match. I don't think I've ever done one of these. Alright, so we'll put Dave Finlay, Joe Hendry, Mark Sabre, and the Coffee Brothers. And I think we'll pre-show this because I think they're all lower mid-carders. Alright, there we go. Show's booked. Let's do this. Pretty okay match to kick things off there on the dark match. Now we're cooking. Briscoes and OVE did pretty well. They're already booked, so we're not worried about that. Not a great match there. Marty Scurll and Bobby Fish just don't have chemistry as tag team partners. Rich Swann and NJF was okay. Nick Jackson, Jay Lethal was okay. Kairi Sane and Makoto was not good. EC3 and Sean Spears was okay. Jake Hager and Sami Callihan. We can put that one in the books. Our pay-per-view card is starting to come together here. TJP and Kota did alright against the Lucha Bros. Kofi, Will Ospreay, and Jay White was great. And our main event was great as well. Adam Cole and Ricochet have good chemistry teaming together. That's a good one to put in the vault. and a B rating for the show at the Reno Event Center in Nevada. Increased our popularity in 21 regions. And we added a match to the card. Still struggling to come across a partner or an opponent for Kairi Sane. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Alright. Tom Phillips to stay with WWE. I would hope so, because they just lost Michael Cole. Kota Ibushi. Alright. Kota Ibushi needs time to heal, because he always does. We're down a little bit on Fight Network. Again, that's 2 weeks in a row. We're down just slightly on Spike UK. And we are down on Pop. Wow. Pop TV ever so slightly as well. But we're still over a 3, so we're in good shape there. Pretty happy with that. Alright. Impact Genesis is 2 days away. You will catch that in episode number 34. When we find out if we can make Impact Wrestling the best promotion in Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. That's going to wrap up this episode. My name is the Mayor, Jason Smith. Thanks for watching. We'll see